another little nugget that came from it that we didn't expect is we got relationships with teachers who have done some pack jobs in the summer.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah, so that was an unexpected win. How am I so close? Why does it keep zooming in on Steven's face? It's so hard.
Welcome back to Movified Wednesdays. I'm your host, Mark Hirschi, owner of Sam's Moving and Storage and Ellis Moving and Storage, located in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. And yeah, it's another Wednesday, and it's part 2 of the TAG series. Already. A week has went by, and we're excited. We got Prabh back on the show. What's up, Prabh?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Happy to be here.
And we got Mr. Stephen Reed with referrals.com and
What up?
Big league movers out in Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis. Most beautiful land in all the world.
Look,
hey, I don't know if y'all know it in Canada. We got the National Guard over here in Memphis. We're cleaning up the streets. We got the FBI
Canada
and U.S.
doesn't have a
Marshals
national
down here.
For what?
Crime.
Crime.
It's all over the U.S. news. We're fighting back as a country in Memphis.
Oh my God. I don't want to visit Memphis right now.
Oh, this is a good time. It's a good time.
It's a good time.
If anything, it's the safest time to go to Memphis, actually.
Yeah,
Really, we have a shortage of officers. So this is actually really, really helpful. So like the National Guard can do things like some of the event security and stuff like that we're using our officers for. And so I welcome the help. A lot of the restaurants are giving free food to people that are coming here to help. So we've had this challenge for about 5 years now. So excited to get it back on track.
Sure, I would too. Look, last week we talked about the tag rules. We listed off, the 10 tags, ways to play the game. Really, you're it. Tag. Friends was a big one.
Hunt. We had a little bit of duck hunt in there too, in last week's episode.
Listen, you get 2 birds with 1 stone. I mean, that's the way you do it. If you can line up that old Nintendo gun and you can get those 2 birds, bang bang, it definitely can work for sure.
Are we searchable on YouTube Kids? I mean, think about it. We're playing duck hunt. We got tag.
I feel like my potty mouth always ends up so that they say, no, this is not appropriate for children. So yes. Listen, we got the tag rules. We talked about 2 of the big topics.
And we have the bourbon. We have the bourbon going on too. You got to be 21 and up to join Movified Nation.
That's right. Unless you're starting a moving company and you're killing it at 19 and you are and you are well over 1 million in sales, then please, yes, we'd love to hear from you, and I really want to have you on the show. Friends and rental trucks. Those were the 2 ones that we kind of hit. I really want to kind of just jump right back into it. But before we do, obviously, we have our pre-trip, which is brought to you by readyrolls.com, virtual staffing that installs into your ops. If you're building a business on networking and referrals, ReadyRolls keeps the admin tight so you can focus on the front end.
That's right. Gets you a data
paper
activator
airplanes.
Roll.
Yeah, don't be throwing those paper airplanes that you see in Steven's AI-generated images that he posts everywhere. You don't want to be crowded in that room.
Get in the rocket launching room.
That's right. Okay. All right. Let's tee it up. Where to even start? I kind of want to just kind of kick off, into the different groups. We're talking chambers, brokers, movers and shakers, and then even like principals, right? I mean, it's up on the screen here. I don't know why I'm looking everywhere else, but can we kind of just kick off? What does it look like when we just clicked out of it? Thanks. Let's talk about chambers.
Yeah. So here's how I played tag with chambers. One, we have some great chambers in Memphis, but a lot of activity in the suburbs. We do most of our work in the suburbs. And so we had about 12 different chambers that all met their monthly luncheon on Tuesday on the same week of the month. Right. And they had, that was their main style of networking. That was where you made the action. I think y'all can probably relate. I don't know why they do it on the same day, but for a company who's servicing all those areas, it makes it really challenging. And I don't have time. At the time I'm growing, you know, I don't have time to do all that networking. I was the brand ambassador and the operator. I didn't live in a perfect world where I could do both. And I had a brilliant guy at the time in my organization named Jonathan Greer. And we came up with this way to play tag with Chamber of Commerce's. So one of the things that all the Chamber of Commerce's in our community do is when you join or move to a new office, either one of those things, you have a ribbon cutting. I don't know if y'all do that in Canada, but we got big scissors, we got a ribbon, and you and the mayor get to cut that sucker and say, we're starting business in this community, right?
Prabh, does that do you get that? That doesn't happen here. That does not happen here.
I think we have ribbon cuttings when someone opens a new fried chicken restaurant, but not at chamber events.
No.
Wow. Well, I'm talking to our American listeners, right? Because we have big scissors, and that's how we celebrate things when there's a new business getting into a community. It's the Chamber of Commerce all goes to that business and they celebrate that business. They ask curious questions. They learn about that business and they say, "Welcome to our community." So I think y'all should bring that to Vancouver out there.
I like the concept for sure.
Everybody likes big scissors in a wizard.
You know what we could do, Prabh, is me and you could just buy a big set of scissors off like Amazon or Temu. They'll probably come out like this big, but and then we'll just go around to all these different places and locations and just be like, "Hey, we're here to cut the ribbon," and then
Where's
just start
It'll say Salmon's moving on one, and then it'll say you move me on the next cut.
That's right. We just flip it. We flip the scissors.
Where's the mayor? Yeah. All right. Hey, sir, can we take another picture? We got another ribbon. This one's going to say a different moving company. But yeah, so, I couldn't do that. I couldn't hit all these towns like Chamber of Commerce, 400 members, different businesses represented. I wanted to hit that network. That's where action happened. And I just didn't have the time. I couldn't figure out how to do it at the time. So what we did is that was one of the signups is you get a ribbon cutting. And so we said, hey, we can knock this out for 12 weeks and really grow our business. And we did it right before peak season. And we, instead of like trying to go to all these events and not making an impact or what it is, we got everybody to come to us and we got everybody to email blast about us and we got everybody to talk about us in every community in a different week. So in 12 weeks, we brought all the chambers to us, right? And I got all the people that were power networkers, realtors, insurance people, mortgage people, right, or members of these chambers of commerces, all interested in my organization, where that would have taken a long time for me to get that reputation about to do that blast. And especially the ones that are in multiple chambers, they're like, "You're smart." And I figured that out by tagging the directors of the chamber and finding out their pain points, right? So I got closer with them to learn how I can take advantage of this network, and I was honest with them. After they wanted to tag me back, I got to share my pain points, and I said, I don't know how to do this because I'm too dang busy. I want to be a part of this. I see the value, and the directors kind of gave us that plan on that side. And then we only go to the ribbon cuttings of realtor offices and restoration contractors and things like that. So we're able to stay relevant, stay afloat to the people that really matter to us. And that's how I tagged that area of business to get my name out there. It was a big blast.
I like it. But didn't you once at one point tell me you took a bunch of people in your office because they were always on the Tuesdays and you signed everybody up for the chambers? So that
we do that now, but I'm going back about how I blasted it. Now I have a big team. And so now I take advantage, but that's how I did it as I was operating and growing.
Right.
That's what anybody that listens to us has time to do, right? With no amount of money. So I was writing for when I had no money and do it. Now I have somebody in every sector.
Let's talk about the now a bit. It's 2025, soon to be 2026. Do you think movers still blast the chambers just like you did when you were starting up? Or do you think their time is better spent somewhere else?
I think the blast really gets you out there with the people that are moving and shaking in 2025, 2026 as well. Because realtors are still pushing the houses, and that's still where they're going. The community leaders are still going there to invest in their businesses and their community. So I think it's a really, really a good jump core. I'm not sure if anybody else did it like we have, but I think it's still as successful as it once was as an idea. We cover a lot of ground on those chambers. We're going to those chamber meetings now and we're saying, all right, we know these realtors are going to be here. We've looked up history on them and us in the past time we've been there. And it's more of it's a targeted continuing relationship now for us from these meetings. Before, how are I going to meet those leaders that are trying to control those towns? Right. And in my town, at least, and I think a lot of the United States, realtors, and only the successful ones really, start taking alderman jobs and have an interest in zoning for builders, right? And being that local nucleus. And this is those kind of realtors that are heading to that area. And those are big realtors. It's a small percentage that does a lot of homes.
Before we ever started using a moving CRM, someone asked me, could you 10X what you're doing right now with the current systems and processes you have in place? And I said, no. And so he was like, well, then you need to just pull the trigger on the software. And then I saw Smart Moving and it was game over.
Austin joined thousands of moving owners on Smart Moving in 2021. Since then, he's more than doubled his business.
And I always compare Smart Moving to Apple products. It's just so simple, so easy to use. And that's really what's allowed my team to scale and now have 2 branches. And last year we scaled Central Coast Moving over 50% growth.
If you're ready to turn your moving company into a machine that drives profit, not chaos, try Smart Moving.
Hey everyone, Matty Mailers here, the guy who pioneered handwritten letters for the moving industry. Why? Because my competition at my moving company was using the same stock postcards as me, and my mailing company didn't care. So I created a better way. Here's some mind-blowing results in July. Miracle Movers Utah closed $93,000 using our handwritten letter strategy. With our campaigns, you can forget about the guessing games. You get a trackable phone number, daily photo proof, an incredible design team, and I'm also included. All letters stop at me for approval before they ever leave our facility. Right now, Movified listeners get 1,000 golden tickets stuffed in our genuine handwritten letters completely free. Plus, I'm going to throw in bulk realtor data for up to 5 counties. What are you waiting for? Moving Letters AI. Stop competing, start dominating.
You're talking about realtors, but I kind of want to, it's a great segue into managing brokers. Because there's a whole other ball game that you can attack, avoiding yourself from, being burnt out by contacting so many realtors all the time.
Which we've all been there in this room.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
So when you get to kind of, and this is from experience, right? This is me running through a wall and turning around and saying, how do I build a door better? So we've all kind of called the top 100 list. We've all worked hard to get the top 100 lists. And we've all figured out that a lot of people in the top 100 lists don't have houses that we would want to move people out of, right? It's a lot of investment realtors and flippers and landlords, right? They're not going to actively tell you that. When you look at their website, they're not saying, hey, I'm a guy buying $12,000 houses and trying to flip them with Section 8. They're still wanting the neighbor to hire them as a realtor for their home, right? They'll still get that commission checks, but they don't advertise that they're these type of realtors. I will buy your home cash.com, those kind of realtors. But a lot of those are in the top 100 list. So you spend a lot of time in just like getting denied, like getting defeated. Like, why does this guy never respond? Well, he doesn't have it. He didn't need a mover is why he's never responded to you. So after that phase, I really tried to dissect it. And I said, all right, so then you figure out all new realtors never really make that list. It's very rare that they jump in that list, right? So you kind of figure out that 80% of the homes sold are done by 20% of the people, all realtors in your community, right? Of what we sell, what we're targeting, what we're wanting, that 400K plus home, right? That family. What our sweet spot is, you find that it's 20% of the realtors that are out there are doing 80% of the work. Right. But those people will defeat you too. It's hard to get a hold of because guess how they view moving in a lot of ways. It's a risk. For me, I don't get much out of it, and I could put myself into move day real quick. And experienced realtors will avoid that if they've been there with a bad mover, right? They've recommended somebody and they could have been off enjoying their check where they need to be, but they're in the middle of a move, right? So realtors don't like that, and that 20% deals with a lot. They're usually burnt that way. And so I was getting defeated trying to get a hold of them, and then I figured out, wait, there's part of this 20% that everyone has to communicate with. It's kind of like their boss, and it's the managing brokers of each office that they're signed up with. So the whole 98% of the rest of the crowd besides them are people that they have to talk to. And so when you start figuring out their pain points, a little bit different than your average realtor. One, they're realtors too. So they have the full-time job of being a successful realtor. The other side is they have to keep encouraging new people. That's a pain point for them. So I got to know them. And then you have to try to get people to come to your meetings. That's a pain point, right? And so kind of learning those pain points, I started trying to help fill those pain points. I started making their meetings pretty cool if I could, right? And go ahead and taking over the planning for it. You know, like Christmas party is a pain point for all managing brokers. So you got ideas for Christmas party, go rent a double-decker bus and drive around town looking at Christmas lights.
All of it.
Right? But help them, play tag with them, find out their needs, and they'll make sure that 20% gets to know you.
It's funny because like when you mention that, there's a metaphor that comes up in my head. It's like during the gold rush, would you be rather panning for gold or selling shovels? And it's like going after realtors is like panning for gold, but going after brokers is like selling shovels.
Yeah. And often people they're intimidated by them, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like you could call 100 realtors or you could reach out to 10 brokers. And your likelihood that those brokers will introduce you to people is much higher. I used to be intimidated when I used to do it too. And what I found was I'd go do a site visit. I'd get the email address then I'd go do a drop. I'd drop off something as a second site visit and ask if they got it via email. What would you say would be a great way for movers to get into it now if they want to go after the brokers directly and avoid the realtors altogether?
They have to hang out at the office. And oftentimes they're the only ones.
That's very true.
I mean, I take it to a whole nother level. Some of them we rent a desk from there. And I like to, be at that desk when they're having their meetings. Also get a Google location out of it. So there's different ways, but you find out those things. They got to pay rent for their office, right? You find out those things through hanging with them, and they're in that office alone a lot. Tuesday is usually a realtor heavy meeting day, but man, roll in there on a Friday morning. They're ready to talk to somebody that's eager to ask curious questions to help them.
Well, it makes sense. It makes sense. I never thought about renting a desk in there and trying to go, and being right in the front of the scene of the crime.
It's led me to so much. I could talk about this one so long. It could be a whole episode, but it's think about it. Like, when you go in there and say their challenge is those realtors and the new ones and keeping them encouraged. So like going in there and saying, how can I help? All right. Do you want me to sponsor? Do you want me to put them out there on my Real Producers ad this month? A challenged person? You want me to put a rising star out there? In my Real Producers magazine, I pick the rising star on the every month. And I don't pick the MVP, right? Because the real MVP is the broker, and they're going to tell me the rising star and appreciate it way more.
Yeah, I believe it. When you move over to the whole movers and shakers, the handwritten praises, you kind of talked about it.
People love
before.
this at Titan, by the way, the movers and shakers.
Yeah.
A lot of feedback on that one.
Can you elaborate on it?
Yeah. So I mentioned on the last episode, 3 letters a day, right? Do some kind of quota where you're writing a couple of gratitude. It's not a bad thing to live like that. To write a few letters and put that habit in place. Writing reviews, right? If I write a review on Movified, nothing's going to tickle Mark more Nothing's going to tickle Steve more, right? And those are the touches that you want. So movers and shakers, they're everywhere. They're the ones that are going to be growing your city. Top 40, under 40, you know what the real investment should be? Don't let these people leave the city. They're going to continue to grow. They're going to continue to lead, and they're going to continue to have a following around the city. So how do I get to all those movers and shakers? Well, I can once a month set up my Apple News with the Memphis Business Journal, the Memphis Daily News, and the Commercial Appeal. And I can follow my brokers, right, and realtors, and I can have an ongoing list where I write 3 a day. It doesn't matter if I write 3 months later that congratulations on an award you win, it's still relevant, right? And I write those letters a day and I'd mail them out and I send it with my business card. I had a nice watermark, still do this, but I have a nice watermark thing I got from Got Print. And at the bottom, it says Stephen Reed, Big League Movers founder. All right. There's some awards that's some of the results I've gotten out of this. I was the youngest person on 40 under 40. I was up there with doctors and St. Jude and everything else. They got stuck out like a sore thumb. But I got an award that I wouldn't have if I didn't play tag with people that are in that. I won medium-sized business of the year in Memphis from the Business Journal. That was a whole hell of a campaign. Went through panels and everything else. No home service company had ever won medium-sized business. So there's a result of playing tag. And if there's somebody that's in an election, right, I can look them up in my system and know I have a relationship with them, moving them. Right. So it's gotten a lot after 17 years. It's had a lot of benefits, and everybody knows me that are movers and shakers. They look me up after you get a letter from somebody. Right.
Sure.
That's a
like
pretty
that.
powerful thing. Right. It's good to have people with favors. Right.
If you're considering Snowball, just do it.
Snowball creates done-for-you referral programs for moving companies so you can turn happy customers into new revenue without lifting a finger. And the results speak for themselves.
In less than a year, we've collected over 2,000 referrals.
We generated over $200,000 of revenue that cost about $5,000 to do it.
I believe we have 4 or 5 the very first day.
The companies winning with Snowball are the ones that already care about their customers. We just help turn that into new business through human outreach and customer nurturing.
Snowball is part of the arsenal of tools that I recommend to my clients because it works.
Being found on the second page of Google is literally like having a billboard in the middle of the desert. Your mama ain't gonna see it. No one's gonna see it. You're on the second page of Google, no one's gonna call, no one's gonna book. Here is the deal. If your business is not ranking on the top of Google, that means your competitors are going to be stealing your customers every single day. So at Rotate Digital, we don't play any guessing games. We use data-driven SEO strategies to make sure Google finds you first so that these Google searches turn into your customers, not your competitors' customers. How do we do it? We do it through AI-driven keyword optimization, exclusive blog networks, backlinking strategies, and honestly, the secret stuff, the proprietary lead attribution software. So what do you get as a result? You get not only good marketing, but now you get clarity into what is bringing you more revenue. So if that's something you want to do, you want to make sure your leads find you and not your competition, go ahead and go to rotatedigital.com, schedule a call, and we'll help you take your business to the top of Google.
Prabh just sends me hate mail.
I mean, it's easy to spread hatred than it is to spread kindness. So
It is.
But you at least, when you do it, you at least include like a coupon. Like I get like a Subway coupon out of it. So, or
But
Wendy's,
that's something
or
too. In
Wendy's.
this list of phase 1, we're gonna have a few phases where we go through tag. I think for Movified. In fact, Movified's motto, and that's why I'm so drawn to Mark, and I think you are too, is playing tag. I mean, it's very similar. We play tag with moving companies every day. We play tag with moving vendors every day. So it's similar to that whole model, but I think we'll have a couple of phases on here where I'd love to have you, Prabh, and we can talk about some of the more other phases that I've gone through. But this, I wanted to speak the Titans to like people that can do now, no dollars. It's non-peak season. Go out there and grow your damn business. Is what these categories are.
I think before we get off to like the last tag is one of the big things that I found is going to these type of events, going to these kind of conferences where there's other moving companies involved. That's a huge game of tag, especially when you're not associated with a van line, or you don't have or a franchised type of company. You're independent, you're on your own, and you have this opportunity. And that's what Movified Nation is really all about, is to build out that community that you get to join, that you get to be part of. And I'll give you an example. There was a moving company in Winnipeg, which is in Canada, just in case people don't know where Winnipeg is. And it was through a conversation with him and just talking and growing that friendship that he turned around and says, hey, you know what? I have a customer I want to get in touch with. He's looking to ship some stuff out to Vancouver. Would you be interested? I said, great. So on a 3-way call, we had a conversation. I think we even had a Zoom meeting as well too. And the next thing you know, we started getting all of these deliveries that were going to be sent our way and generating business that didn't happen. That would have never happened had we not struck the conversation and started to do the game of tag. Now, when I had something going back over to Winnipeg, it was boom, tag, you're it. I got the perfect company that I want you to work with. And from that grows that relationship. And that should be all over when it comes to the moving industry, right? Like, that is about playing tag with one another when we're not thinking about the difference that we talked about, the chambers, the friends, the people that are in our hometown. That's playing tag with now North America.
One thing that I would add to that, though, it's one thing to play tag, and it's another thing just to shake hands and feel like that's enough, right? What Steven said at the beginning is, when you're playing tag, you got to find the why. You would be hard pressed to go through Steven's book of business and he wouldn't have a reason of knowing someone's why for each sector that he goes after, and that's what keeps that engagement. He remembers all the good times, he remembers the bad times, and he can reference each side whenever it's applicable, and that's why they keep referring him all these years later. You can't just shake someone's hand and expect the business to come in. It doesn't work. And you don't need to do as many touch points if you make an impact the first time. Like that conversation you had in Winnipeg, clearly you played enough tag that this guy's like, I want to support Mark. And then what happens?
I gotta chase this guy
Mark
back.
wants to support him. Exactly.
Or the last segment's my favorite. This was my team thought I was a little crazy on this one.
Yeah, well, but before we get to that, before we wrap up with that last one, we've got a Dolly Dash moment that came all the way from the
Speaking of letters,
Moving Time. Speaking of letters, the Moving Time event. So let's roll a clip and see who we got this week. It is Mark Hirschi here with Movified. It is the Dolly Dash moment, Tiny Edition. You ready?
I am.
Okay. You're here. It's the Moving Titan event. Who are you excited to see?
Well, I already met you, so Steven Reed, for sure.
Nice.
Growing a business 2025, what is one of the biggest impacts that you've applied in your business that you've seen a huge growth or change?
Make sure your SOPs are spotless. You have to get those in line. Make sure that you have all your procedures in order. For us this year, that made us win pretty much.
I like it. Yeah. Packing your suitcase, going on these kind of trips. What's one thing you thought you packed or you wish you had packed that you totally forgot?
I didn't have space for them, but Crocs. I love Crocs, and my wife hates them, and I love them, but I just didn't have space in my suitcase.
Are you a collector of those Crocs? You got to add things like the.
I don't do that, but I do have probably like 50 Crocs at home.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Last but not least, you got guys like yourself. This is the first time visit. What's one piece of advice that you would give another moving company owner that wants to attend an event like this?
Oh, just come in. If you're an introvert like me, get the virtual. If you're not comfortable coming in, but be part of it. And please, just come in and attend.
Sure, I love it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. It's Mark Hirschi with Movified. It is the Moving Titan event, and we're doing the Dolly Dash moment, Titan edition. Got right here, Reliance Moving Solutions. And we got a quick couple questions for you, all right? You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who are you excited to see on this trip for speakers?
Oh, you speaker wise.
I don't know. I'm excited to see all of them, to be honest. This is my first year. I really just want to see everybody. I'm amped to see everything. I'm just excited for the whole everybody. I don't have a favorite speaker.
I love it. 2025 has been like an up and down kind of year for everybody. What was one of the biggest impacts that you applied in your business that you've seen grow?
What was the biggest impact we've seen this year? Just the peace of mind on moves. So making sure each move goes seamless at the end. We asking customers, is everything good? Is everything smooth? Are they happy with us? And so far, that's been amazing for us. And we had a lot of success this summer from what our last year.
I like it. Now, we all go to these kind of trips. We load up our luggages. What's one thing that you wish you packed that you totally forgot?
My belt.
Your belt?
I do not got a belt on right now. I had to order one. It's on its way.
Buddy, I could have given you my belt. I got an extra belt inside.
Oh, now, so I should have asked.
No worries, no worries. When you are seeing, it's your first time, right?
Yeah.
First time here. What's one piece of advice that you could give other moving company owners that are maybe interested in coming, maybe, have maybe never been to these kind of events before? What's one piece of advice that you could give them to apply when they want to come to an event like this?
Just do it. I'm very scared. I don't talk to a lot of people, so coming here was very different for me. But if you're gonna do it, just do it. Don't be scared. Come out here and talk, network. If you want to grow, if you want to do the right stuff, these guys are winning. So come out here and win with the rest of us.
And Arthur was nervous too.
Very nervous.
So good for him.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much for the moment.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, it's Mark with Movified, and I'm here to talk about Canada Home Listings. They are the only direct mailer service built specifically for household good movers in Canada. That's right, my hometown. They help moving companies reach homeowners the moment they list their home with proven mail campaigns that drive results. And for the Movified listeners, they're offering exclusive promotions you won't find anywhere else. So go check them out today. Go online, go do your thing, and go find them. Canada Home Listings right now. Go. And then keep watching the show.
We're back. Final topic, right? Final game of tag. Stephen Reed, I like this one. I think we talked about it even on stage. This is hitting up the schools, the principals, those schools that are in your community. And I want to just start off, Stephen, I want the answer. For the moving companies that don't have children, right? They don't have kids. Maybe their kids are actually still quite young, and maybe they're not even in daycare. You're kind of going into blind as the moving company owner to go and represent yourself at these schools. What would you suggest the moving company owners do or send their staff to when they don't have kids that are in that particular school?
Yeah, so I think that's where I was identifying, because everybody's busy in a school. And so luckily I had a fundraising company at some point that taught me a lot. It taught me how much people call schools. Fundraising companies call schools all the time. So it's hard to actually get through. Well, we have a bunch of school systems here. There were 2 school systems back when I was a kid in school. And then after that, you kind of hear a theme here, National Guard coming in. One county was really, really good, and the city schools were very lower. So the powers that be said, hey, this good county needs to take over everything. And so instead of that good county taking over everything, a bunch of the suburbs in Memphis made their own school system. So we got a bunch of school systems within our schools, within our city. And it's really hard to get through who's the person that makes decisions to hire people at schools. Like you guys have probably experienced different people. You don't know. It's a crapshoot. It could be an operations manager. It could be a maintenance man. It could be the principal. It could be some board member you don't know. Right. So it's kind of a hard target to get to who does the vendors, allows vendors in schools. But my goal was to get through that whoever, find out who it was and how do I get there. And so having friends, being friends with a lot of people that are teachers in the schools, one of the things they would always tell me as a moving company is like, gosh, I wish you were just here on the last day of school. I got to move my classroom here. I got to load my truck up here. Or I got to have my husband get off work to come help me unload my crap from class to go home for the summer and then bring it back on school days. And so you start thinking about the pain points in the school with my two birds and one stone. And whose job is it to keep all those teachers happy? It's the principals.
Principal.
Right? So understand that pain point.
Prabh was
if I
going to say
got-
himself. Prabh was going to say him. So you kind of paused there for a second. He's like, me. And he waited.
I mean,
he
to
waited.
make teachers cry, I think that was me. Not to make them happy, though.
But what's the time that you're trying to make them the happiest? When they're leaving for the summer, you're worried they might not come back. That's when they get their notices. Right? And so we wanted to give, like, how am I going to get the principal's attention? I'm going to offer to have guys there moving stuff to their homes, their cars. Right? I'm going to put guys in red shirts. Come tag the guy in the red shirt. I'm going to have a main person there that has a radio that stays in the lobby, and we're going to have a theme there for the last day of school and the first day of school for teachers, right? To come to us, get on the radio, and guys in the red shirt will meet you in your classroom and unload your stuff. You don't have to get your husband to take off work, or you don't have to ask a friend for a favor with the truck, right? And so we did that, and when we offered that to principals, they jumped on it. These same people that won't talk to you because they think you're fundraising or whatever it is, couldn't get a faster email response back with that offer. Right? And they jumped at that. Yeah. But guess what you have to do to get this offer? The schools can't let anybody do this without being on the vendor approved list. Right. So I hit an elementary school in every different school system. I picked elementary schools because that's the most common age that people have to move. So when they're going from elementary to middle, families are often expanding or going into making more money in their career or whatever it is, going to a bigger home. Right. And so I targeted elementary schools, also targeted elementary schools because there's one in every neighborhood almost around here. There's not many high schools, but there's there's 5 elementary schools per high school, right? So I'm closer to get to an elementary school and have an impact with somebody than any other school. And guess what? Everybody is involved in the schools. You have kids or not. Why? Your property value goes up or down based on how good that school is.
I love how your camera just zoomed right in.
It got intense. It knew it was a moment, right? But yeah, everybody's interested in the property value in your school system going up. So we target elementary schools, and they're also smaller. So it's a less of a project because by nature, there's 5 of them compared to one big high school. It's only a few hours that you're doing this a day.
You're
so
going
we
to schools.
took pictures.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Because people are thinking the same thought. You talked about the fact of trying to get on vendor lists. Are you going so you don't get shut down and you're not running around? This is the same thing with realtors and managing brokers. Are you going to the school district? Like, do you guys have that in the different state where you're going to the school district to be on the vendor list and saying, hey?
Yeah. So the principal sets you up immediately. So the principal, instead of me trying to find who's that person that gets me on the vendor list, guess what? The principal wants me in that school to do this before the school year ends.
Right.
So they are they're getting whoever that is that's that decision maker, and they're getting me that packet to fill out. And then from there, I'm getting the decision maker for school jobs. So I know who to check in with every break, right before Christmas break, right before spring break, right before summer break. I'm trying to get ahead of them right before the school year starts. I'm trying to get like, hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. If you need stuff moved around to make your life easier.
It just shows that there's opportunity everywhere, right? As long as you're willing to put the work in. You also talk about property. Yeah. And you talk about property values going up based on the schools, but also like if the teachers are happier, they're more likely to stay too, right? So it's like dual way engagement. You'd actually be looked at as
we
like
get
the
our guys
savior.
to make sure they stay sharp. So that I still pay them for reviews of the teachers.
Love it.
Boy, they're happy to review us, right? So my wife is friends with every teacher they're in a grade, right? So when a teacher's bragging about us helping them out, and by the way, we're taking pictures everywhere by every sign, because I don't have an ad that's just my trucks at my office. I have an ad in a neighborhood in a 5-mile radius. Guess what it is? It's a picture of my truck with something they're familiar with that they drive by every day.
Talk about hometown dominator. This is the ticket.
Yeah.
100%.
That's the ticket. So the principles have led to a lot of opportunity. Another little nugget that came from it that we didn't expect is we got relationships with teachers who have done some pack jobs in the summer.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah, so that was an unexpected win. I know, Prabh, you got to get out of here soon, so we got a full wrap it, don't we?
Well, we got a full wrap. The decal, if you might say, is brought to you by On Deck Deliveries. When your commercial or last mile demand spikes, On Deck gives you the flexibility, flexible capacity without chaos. And you know what? Hey, listen, because Stephen, when I gave him a challenge last week, I feel like he was really just talking about this Van Winkle bottle, which, guys and gals, if you're watching this, it's like a $1,200 USD bottle, and it's like $5,000 Canadian. This is a bottle that we can't even import with the tariffs. I couldn't even find it if my heart desired on it. There's the bottle itself right there. I'm salivating, like just thinking about it. All you have to do, right, is go to start.movifiednation.com, correct?
.com. You can go to movifiednation.com, and there's a link on the website that says join the nation.
Perfect. Exactly, right? Join the nation. There's even on movified.ca as well, too.
Move a nation.
Fill out that easy, quick questionnaire form. You get entered in. We'd love for you to fill it out. And we're going to be picking the draw. I don't know.
Why does it keep zooming in on Steven's face? It's so hard to not laugh.
We're going to listen.
And that's a wrap.
And that's a wrap. Look, but aside from, if you've already filled out this form, if you've already, Kenny doesn't even work. Can't even do it. Guys, seriously, for everybody that is listening, the last and final request that I ask you to do, we've given you now 2 episodes of some solid nuggets. We've given you 6 areas where you can play tag. And there's so much more.
For $0. Some money I got
for $0. Now, here's the task. Here's your challenge. All of you guys, listen up. Pick one of these groups and tag them this week. Don't overcomplicate it. Just start the loop. Pick one. You're putting your hand up here. This is not a...
I'm reaching a tag.
You're reaching the tag. I feel like we're trying to touch each other and Prabh stuck in the middle. This poor guy's the Oreo.
That's your boys.
The task is really easy, everybody. Do the challenge. It's really easy. Start with either tagging a friend, reach out to them, try and be that unofficial sponsor, reach out to your broker, reach out to the chambers if you're part of one or within your BNI or some type of networking group. Do the mover and shaker, write a letter. Or if you have children that are in that school, man, oh man, guess what? Christmas is coming up. I bet you they could probably even use like 2 movers to show up to help do the setup or something.
The best jobs. They go from one side of the school to the cafeteria, and then they come back out of the cafeteria to the other side of the school or gym. It's the best.
Now you got your truck or your Sprinter panel van that's sitting outside of that school. You're snapping the photos. You got 2 of your guys that are in uniform, snapping those photos, and they're to help. And if you can try and time it where it's school pickup. Or in the morning, or they're just like hanging out, trying to do some boxes, you can do it. You can slowly tag the way Steven's trying to do it. I feel like this is a game this is like Star Wars. Are you the Yoda? Are you trying to or like a Jedi?
These are the rules.
Anyways, these are the rules.
Go make some money. Your market is not your hindrance. Your market, you can maximize your market go.
Oh, and did I almost forget? If you go on to movifiednation.com, you also, and you fill that out.com, you get 3 free SOPs, the game tape review, the speed to lead, and how to collect money.
Let's go.
And if you need all this admin installed, head to readyrolls.com/movified. And if the overflow is your pain point, On Deck Deliveries has you covered. What's happening here, Steven? I feel like I'm just promoting you to the max. This guy gives me a script, and I just thought, but you know what, though? If you're listening to this...
I'm the brand, so I'm trying any way I can.
I love it.
I'm maximizing my tag to you.
Hey, listen, but if you are a vendor that loves to join in and listen to this, if you know a bunch of vendors that you think would benefit from being on Movified, shoot them these episodes, see where they can actually fit in, because we'd love you to be taking over from me having to repeat Steven's business all the time, and you could be part of the full wrap. You could be part of the promise. You could be part of the Dolly
pre-trip.
Dash moment, the pre-trip, 100% for sure. Prabh, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for only saying approximately about 20 words out of the 5,000 words that me and Steve
They were
bumped
very
into this
wise.
episode.
There's 4,000
Very
out of
wise
you,
words.
maybe 4,000 out of Steve, maybe 1,000 out of you. I kept getting distracted
Yeah.
by Steve zooming in his face on the end of the screen and then putting his hand up.
And you know what? You should feel a privilege because he only does that to certain guests on the show. So
The pleasure was all mine. Take my hand.
take my hand.
my
All right,
strong
guys. This has been a great week. Awesome Wednesday. Enjoy
guys.
the rest of your
Yeah.
week, everybody. And until next time, stay Movified.